shit. This 1,000. Spin that shit. Spin that shit. Spin that shit. Shit, you coming? Spin the check and get it right back.
What's going on, guys? It's your boy Eazyy TV bringing you guys another Division video. Just a small disclaimer before I even start the video. This game, this video will be a little lengthy. I decided that I want to not even so much of secrets, but I want to give out information away that I make builds, how I look for to make certain builds, depending on if it's support, DPS, being tanky. I see a lot of people giving y'all misinformation, making stuff that the way it doesn't make sense when you can make it better. So I'm gonna do that today. I hope you guys enjoy. I need some major feedback on this. Maybe I'm missing something. I'm pretty much solid on this game. It's certain stuff that I don't know about certain gear stats, like, you know, learning stuff about D3 and stuff like that. But I got the full, you know, understanding about every gear set that's in the game. All right. So when I break this down, I'm gonna break it down by my builds and what I've made in the past, and hopefully you guys can keep up. All right. So for today we're going to talk about, as you guys can see, I have on my striker chi. I'm just fucking around with this. I do have this build video coming with my AR. I did an SMG before, but now I'm doing the AR. It's a little different, but we're gonna get into that later. All right, so I want to talk about the fact that some people are making, you know, not bashing anybody's channel, or I don't care about, you know, the content, but I don't want you guys to have misinformation on how things work. All right, so this is going to be a class lesson on what I know about Division, how long I've been playing the Division. I'm not an OG. I came in 1.5, but I got a real deep understanding of the game. So all right, so let's go with a DPS build. What do I look for in an actual DPS build? And we're gonna go with let's go with my 10k firearms Banshee, one of my squishiest builds that I have. All right, so with depending on your game style, if you are a DPS, if you're a supporter, if you're a tank, it just depends on what you want to do. Let's say you're going for DPS. Let's say you're one of the DPS people, and I mean also as in like squad play. I also get into solo play as well. So everyone knows that the most ran builds in the DZ for like 4-man against servers is like Banshee, like a Banshee Savage, a Banshee Vigorous, Banshee Barretts. It can be Pred Chi, Alpha Chi, Alpha Bridge. It's a lot of different ways you can go. You're not gonna see too many things different besides like hybrids of Alpha Bridge, Banshee, Striker and stuff like that. Now there is some people making 6P Striker builds still. I believe that Striker Chi is better than 6P Striker. That's just my opinion. It gives out way more damage. It shreds faster and everything. All right, but let's say my DPS build, right? So the usual that people run is not 10k firearms. A lot of sweaties run 10k firearms when they're running like in a group with the healer and running vigorous. All right, so you'll see like a 10k firearms build with Vig. Everybody will probably have on Vig, including the healer. It'd probably be a tactician pulse and a final measure healer and 2 DPS. Now, if they get super sweaty, it'd be 1 DPS, 2 final measure healers, and a tac pulse, or 1 final measure healer, 1 reclaimer, 1 tac, and 1 DPS. So it can get real sweaty, as some of you guys know, playing in the dark zone. Now, what do I look for in a DPS build? Now, my regular DPS builds, let's say my Pred Chi is my go-to, all right? I just recently rolled this to almost 10k firearms, but I was like at 8,700 firearms and like maybe 4,000 stam or something like that. So what do I look for? Okay, if you have a god roll house, I think the best talents to run for DPS is responsive deadly card counter is the best for me, point blank period, because you have the responsive, you always fighting up close. You got daily, which give you the 15% crit damage, and you have card counter. And then it depends on what mods you have. Now, my mods are mostly for crit damage. So I want to be able to put out as much crit damage as possible that my build has to offer. But one thing I will tell you guys don't have to have 135%, 136% crit damage to shred people. Now, people do that to just get people out the way and be able to hit the hardest that they can, but you do not have to do that. Point blank period, you don't have to do that. So what I do is, responsive deadly is my favorite combination ever, especially for SMGs. For the people that don't know, SMGs come with crit chance on them, all right? And I didn't get into an argument, but it was really an argument, and I got into an argument with one of the dudes that was in the E-Dub clan. I'm cool with them, but I had met him in the dark zone, and we were talking about what crit chance does and crit damage, and he told me his homeboy, he's a mastermind at the game, he know what he's talking about, and he told him that crit chance is what makes you hit hard, and that's not true. All right, that's not true. And I'm gonna give you guys a prime example. All right, let's say you got the max amount of crit chance. 60% crit chance is the cap, but you only have 70%, 75%, or 80% crit damage. You're not gonna shred anybody with 70 to 80% critical hit damage. Yes, you will have a 60% chance. 60% basically of that clip will be a critical hit shot, but the damage output from the critical hit damage is not a lot. So you won't even probably be hitting 20K. You might be hitting maybe 17, 18,000 crits, 19,000 crits, and that's not a lot to really put anybody down. A healer, my tactician post healer, I hit around like 20K. With my posts alone, so in the house. So having 60% critical hit chance, yes, is good because it gives you the chance to crit as much as possible, but the crit damage has to match. Now y'all asking Eazy, what is a number of crit damage that you need to have? I say 120 and above. You don't need 135, 136% crit damage. You don't need that to shred anybody. My preference would be 120%. And what comes with that 120% is, like I had a build before, I'm pretty sure you can have health on your knee pads and health on the backpack to make you even more tanky. What I will do is, while I'm going through these builds, you guys give me a build that you guys want to see. I'll comment the link under your comment, and then you can go watch it. Like, I have an Alpha Bridge 6-piece build, the Alpha God build, that's got like almost 100K views around the time that people was trying to shit on Alpha Bridge when it first came out, and I made it godly. And now a lot of people are running Alpha Bridge simply off of that video, because Alpha Bridge is godly. It's the only gear set that even comes close to Alpha Bridge is Banshee for damage. That's it. And that's only when you have really like Banshee procs. But when you got like 10K firearms, Alpha Bridge, which give you all that gun damage, I believe so, and then you turn around and can have all talents unlocked without any requirements, so you can run anything that you want to, is amazing. So that's why I believe Alpha Bridge is like gotta be top 2 damage builds, hands down. But when you're running builds like that, it's certain ways that you have to run the builds. All right. So like I was saying, with the damage on these builds, you want to make sure that your crit damage is right. You want to make sure the crit chance, crit damage, all that stuff is right. So around 120, like I said, is good for critical hit damage. Now, you want to try to have as much crit chance as possible. So for ARs don't come with crit chance on them. I heard back in the day, I think back in the day, it used to come on like critical hit damage or something used to come on these guns. I don't know. I didn't come around that meta. But for what I'm saying right now, for 1.8.3, if you're running an SMG, you want as much crit chance as possible to cap yourself around that 60 mark. I usually cap myself around 56, 57, 58%, which is fine for me because losing 1, 2, 3% of crit chance, you're not going to see a big difference at all. You're really not going to see a big difference. But for ARs, you have to run gun talents differently because you don't have the crit chance that automatically comes on the gun. So, for instance, if you guys want to say Eazyy, well, what do you prefer? Well, I prefer a crit chance gun. So let's say if you're running this same build that I have, which is the Prechi, but you're running it with a AR instead of SMGs, you will want to go, let me see if I can find one. You will want to go with something that has like, okay, you see, I have a Vicious Daily Prepared. People sleep on Vicious Daily Prepared because if you're a good beamer and you have Vicious Daily Prepared, people couldn't even get close to you enough with this gun were prepared that it'll feel like you actually hitting them up close with responsive, but you have prepared. That's how nasty prepared is with these lightweight M4s and these LVOAs. That's how certain people are able to beam people from way down the street and put so much damage on you because they're running Vicious Daily and Prepared. And the reason why you run Vicious is because of the crit chance. As you guys can see, it says critical hit chances increased by 10% while having more than 2 segments of health. Before you even get into crazy battle, you can beam people with Vicious and not lose any segments of health. The only time that kicks in and it becomes a problem when someone is up close on you, all right? And then that's when you start receiving the health. And 9 times out of 10, it'll be a close battle because people use the house all the time. And that's just what it is. One of the most broken gun in the game, but it is what it is, all right? And as you guys can see, the assault rifles come with enemy armor damage on them. So enemy armor damage used to be a thing back in the day with armor mitigation and all that stuff, but it's not really nothing now. But I will tell you guys, enemy armor damage does have a number difference on hitting players than not having enemy armor damage. If you understand what I'm saying, it's not a significant number of damage that it puts on you. It's not a big number. You can't say, oh, I'm gonna stack into enemy armor damage and I'm gonna just burn through PvP players. No, that's not how it works. It's really on the side of PvE. But enemy armor damage does put damage on you. And the reason why I say enemy armor damage is really crazy with certain builds and mainly Striker, even with PvP, if you guys notice when you at 100 stacks and you don't even have crits like that, you can burn through people with white numbers with a M4 or LVOA or a Bullfrog or something like that, because it's stacking, it has enemy armor damage and then it stacks that damage. So if you stack into a whole bunch of enemy armor damage on the build, right? And then you have some type of crit chance and you get those stacks and you know how to contain those stacks, you're burning through anybody. And you be like, damn, why is he hitting so hard? Because when you stacking like that, that enemy armor damage stacks too on top of the damage from Striker, and then people wonder why they get burned. So the talents you would really want to run are Vicious, Deadly, no, any crit chance. So Vicious, Adept, and Fierce. So what would be my go-to? My go-to for a crit chance gun, if I was to choose between 3 talents, would be Adept, Fierce, and Deadly. I will want my crit damage. I don't want to miss 15% of my crit damage. And I will also want to be able to crit as much as possible. So for Adept, let me see if I have an Adept gun here so you guys, so people that don't know about Adept. For adept, it says using a skill increases your critical hit chance by 7.50% for 15 seconds. So what happens is, let's say every time you pop a skill, right, you automatically get 7.50% for 15 seconds. So back in the day, you used to can stack this with a high skill haste build and get 60% crit chance, and you automatically run around with 60% crit chance with adept, but they nerfed it. So you don't get to stack like that. You only can use it twice. And I think it only stacks twice, maybe. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. But you pop one skill, you got your adept for your 7.50%, and then you pop another one, and then that's added onto it. If it's not added onto it, don't quote me on it. You just have another timer of 7.50% for 15 seconds. But you got to also add that on top of Fierce, which I think Fierce give you a consistent 5% crit chance at all times without popping any skills. So that's just an extra 15%. And then you add that in with Savage. And I think Savage gloves, if I'm not mistaken, give you 8% crit chance. No, 7% crit chance against targets out of cover. But the thing is, this number is not added to your crit chance. You have to take a mental note of thinking, hey, well, I got Savage. Well, I only got, let's say I only got 120% crit chance, but you got on Savage gloves. You got to also add in that 7%. I mean, not 120% for crit chance. That's crit damage. Say you only got, let's say, 52% crit chance, right? And you forget that you have on Savage. You really have 59% crit chance, because that number is not added to it. If you don't believe me, go put it on and go do the calculations. My homeboys, he was like, oh, you wrong until he went to go see it. And then I'm actually right. All right. It does not add into that. My combination. All right. So I have an Alpha Bridge 1v1 build that I've been working on, and I do 5-piece Alpha Bridge with the gloves, with the Savage gloves. I roll crit chance on the mask, and I'm giving y'all a build that I ain't even put out yet. So if you use this build, you better give me credit for it. All right, so it's a 5-piece Alpha Bridge build with Savage gloves, assault rifle damage, as you guys seen, critical hit damage and critical hit chance. It's crit chance on the mask, crit chance on the holster, crit chance on the gloves, and the knee pads and the backpack is critical hit damage. Yeah, critical hit damage, and I do skill haste because it's like really like a 1v1 build. Or you can do exotic damage resilience, which one you want. And everything else that I use is like firearm mods for crit with health, or stand mod with health on it. Most people do stand mod with crit chance and firearm mods with crit chance, but you know, that depends on the way that you want to do things. But I actually put a I actually use a post on mine. So some people don't like using a post, some people do like using a post. And what happens is with that gun is I run Fierce, Adept, Deadly, and Unforgiven. That combination alone with all that crit chance with the AR is super deadly, because no, as a matter of fact, me being me, I use stability on the backpack because I can't beam like that. I need the stability. All right. So I put stability on the backpack and crit damage on the knee pads. So I'm not like at 135 or 136 or something like that. I'm like at 129, 128% critical hit damage, but it's still enough. But I use those as in, like, you can use Adept, Deadly, Competent, Unforgiven. You can go Adept, Deadly, Responsive, Competent. It's a different amount. It's a whole bunch of different amount of combinations that you can use with that type of build, because you don't have to have any requirements to unlock them, and it becomes deadly. All right. Now I want to get into another thing, the side arms. Now, some people ask, man, how do y'all get y'all supers back? How do y'all get y'all, you know, I call supers back so fast is because either one, someone is running determined, or two, they're running cool-headed. Cool-headed is probably a better preference because with cool-headed, it really doesn't have any requirements on it. It's a blue pistol. So if you have that blue pistol, you just shoot the, you know, NPCs or one of your homeboys or somebody in the lobby and just shoot them in the head, and you get your alt back faster. With me, I have the sawed off, so I just aim for an NPC head, shoot him in the head, kill him one shot, and mines go up. You can use any one of these, but that's how you farm your alt faster. So some people be like, damn, how are they getting their alts back so fast? It's because people are using determined and cool-headed. All right, so that's it with the firearms. You really don't need to need nothing about the firearms. So as in a build breakdown, I want to go through this. As you guys can see, everything is rolled for firearms. One of these pieces was rolled for stam. Like I said, I had it like 8,000 and 4,000 or something like that. This is squishy, but this is only like this for team play. This is not something I would run solo against a whole server because the toughness. All right. A lot of people feel that, you know, when you run in a squad, you don't need that much toughness. And that's not the case. And I'm gonna also break that down as well. So when you're running in a squad, you see the sweaties. 9 times out of 10, they running a 10K firearms Banshee build or a 10K firearms Prejchi build, something around that area with Vigorous on. And they have these healers, like I said in the beginning. And people cannot understand how to beat these type of builds. Like, how can I beat this build? Why are they not dying? Why are they not, you know, taking damage or anything like that? And I'm gonna just tell y'all the 2 most simplest ways to break all that down and to kill a team like that every single time. And 9 times out of 10, as you guys can confirm in the comments, those healers are chicken dancing. All they do is strafe and heal, strafe and heal, strafe and heal. The only people that are really shooting are the ones that have the DPS where they can face tank and move around and stuff like that. With those chicken dance people, let's say if you got a tactician pulse, a final measure, or a reclaimer, especially a reclaimer build, the 2 things that stops all that and put people on edge is an EMP and a disrupt. Okay, an EMP and a disrupt will shut all of that down, because what happens is, yeah, you're chicken dancing, but I also hit you with a disrupt. And when I hit you with this disrupt or this EMP, now your skills are frozen. Your box is down, your skills are frozen. So what do you do in an instance that, okay, now we have these people EMP or they disrupted? What do we do? Your best bet, 9 times out of 10, if it's one healer, it's a tech post healer, and the other 3 people are running like a 10K firearms build, they are just as squishy as the support player. They are just as squishy. But the thing is, they don't have the support that he has. They don't have the skill haste that he has. They don't have the skill power. They don't have the pulse power. So what do? You focus the healer. Every single time. With no healer, even with good squads, with no healer, there's no backup. There's no, basically, security. There's no back security. So what do? You focus everybody else. And they're just as squishy as the healer. So if they run a 10K firearms and you strafing around and they don't have no, when you put a couple bullets on them, they're probably missing a whole segment and a half of health instantly, because they don't have the toughness or the stam to even withstand any type of damage. They can't withstand any type of damage. And that goes to, when I'm saying damage, that goes back to the crit chance and the crit damage when you playing against players like that. With that type of crit chance, 60% crit chance, and the crit damage, like I said, like 70-80%, even with them having 10K firearms, you're not even going to be able to really shred them like that. But let's say you had 120%, but you was at 120% crit damage, but you was at like 40 or 50% crit chance. Yes, you have lower crit chance. Yes, you definitely have lower crit chance, but your crit damage is higher. So when you get those yellow numbers, they will be way higher than someone that have 70 or 80%. And this is what chunks away at the health. This is what hurts the player. It's the crit damage that actually shreds. It's not the crit chance. The crit chance give you a chance to crit, but what actually burns you is the crit damage. And this is why people run support tech post builds or final measure support post builds, because the crit damage alone off of those posts are so high and they stack onto your main stat. It's ridiculous. So let's say you had 135% crit damage, right? And you had a real low amount of crit chance, but you had a attack post healer, like my attack post healer build. It automatically give you like 55% crit chance as soon as you post somebody with the conceal, on top of like 60% critical hit damage. So it's gonna automatically put you on anything that's red, that's post. It's gonna automatically give you that extra, let's say 55% is gonna be added to your character. So let's say you was at 5% crit chance. Once he posts and it hits somebody, you automatically at 60 because his posts do 55%. Yes, Mom. And then let's say you at, you know, 130 and his is at his crit damage is at 50. You'll be doing 180% crit damage. Now there is a soft cap and it starts diminishing, but it still give you more and more and more damage. So you wonder why people be hitting people for 38, 39, 42 and 44% crit damage. You like crits and you like, what the fuck? It's because they're running with some type of tech post healer, and for some reason a lot of people in the DZ or in just the fucking division period seems to feel that a post is not important. A good team runs a post, especially in PvP. A good team runs a post, and then this is where a lot of the accusation come in. Or you're cheating, you hitting too hard. No, the tech post is shredding you, okay? Because what happens is they're running a concealed tech post, which is the most dangerous post that you can have on the game. The most dangerous post that you can have on the game. And what happens is people are running box and booster because of prayer bleed. They're scared of the prayer bleed. They're running exotic damage resilience. And it puts them in a place where I've been in lobbies where everybody is running box and booster, or a turret, or a fire turret, or secret mines, or something goofy, and then they like, oh, y'all cheating. Well, no, we're not cheating. We just got a post that's damn near giving everybody 200% critical hit damage. So as soon as you get looked at, no matter what gun we use it, especially a house or an M4 to beam, you're instantly dead. You wonder why so much damage is put on you, and then people be like, oh well, it was lag, or they lag switching. No, it's the post that's killing you like that. So Eazyy, okay, what do you use to counter the conceal post? The master post. Well, you use a conceal post, because what most people don't understand is a conceal post it mitigates or cancels out every other post. So a recon post, a damage post, look, Jasamian just got online, a recon post, a damage post, or just like the regular master post, a conceal shuts all that down. You have to run a concealed post against another concealed post to stop the concealed post, if you guys get what I mean. So let's say I get posted by someone that's running a concealed post, right? I need to post back with a concealed post to cancel each other to wipe, because if I don't, what happens is I'll post with a damage post, right? I'll post with a damage post. As soon as they post back with a conceal, my damage post is white. It's null and void. You don't have it anymore. It's a waste. So now them hitting me with the concealed, that concealed is staying because no one has a concealed post to post back to stop them. To stop the post from hitting us. From hitting us. And then people wonder why they get shredded. And my thing, y'all, if y'all gonna run any type of group play, please stop running box and booster. There's no more drop and pop in the game. I understand that y'all scared of the Pred bleed, but it's all the alternatives to run other than the play, to stop Pred bleed. Stacking to exotic damage resilience. Stacking, use adrenaline. There's different ways that you can go against a Pred bleed or a shock turret or stuff like that. Like if you know somebody got on Pred, instantly pop a med kit and face take adrenaline, shred them down, because they need to face tank you to get those 10 bullets off to make you bleed. But if you already popped the med kit prior to them getting to you, and you face take like, oh yeah, I'm gonna let you put these 10 bullets on me, and they wonder after the 10 bullet why you not bleeding, about time they look down, they dead because they not popping no med kits. That's just point blank period. But let's get into the next build. All right, so this is for my support players and how I build my support. All right, so any gun that you have, depending on, like I got tactician, as you guys can see, and I run, this is my standard. All right, so as you guys can see, I run a showstopper, and I advise you guys to run the showstopper because the showstopper gives you the fastest stacks that you can have off of an NPC or a player for this tactician build. So for the tactician build like this with the 5-piece, you get up to 30 stacks. That's it. Now if you was running a complete 6-piece, there's a chance that you can get 60 stacks. But as for the people that watch the video between the 6-piece and the 5-piece, that just it's not worth it getting the 60 stack because the what is this? What backpack is this? The inventive backpack gives you that 15% skill power boost, and as it gives you that boost, it makes everything way stronger, and it's stronger, actually stronger than a 60 stack. All right, so the breakdown of this build: showstopper with talented. You will want talented. As for the people that don't know, talented, killing a target with this weapon increases skill power by 15% for 20 seconds. The effect does not stack. Killing a new target refreshes the timer. So you can't stack 15, then 30, then 45. It don't work like that. It's 15, 15, 15, 15. That's all you get. That's all you need. So what I would do is I would run talented and I would run competent, because as people know, competent is an electronics talent. So with competent, it gives you weapon damage is increased by 10% for 15 seconds after using the skill. Now, I think I have a gun with talented and competent on it. That with this build, almost 500k skill power, just standing alone. When I post, let me show you guys. The post on the hill is ridiculous, first off, but the post that I have on here is 45.80% crit chance and 53.80% crit damage. The post alone makes your team godly. All right, the post alone makes your team godly, and on top of that, I don't have a lot of firepower. But when you post like this, it's almost like running 5k firearms. It's almost like running 5k firearms because that post is so nasty. It's ridiculous. Like, let's see. My standing post, my standing crit damage, like I said, is 81%. Without this post, I'll be hitting like 12, 13, 14,000, which is not a lot to shred anybody. Like I was saying, the crit chance is at 36.50. But once I post, I'm way over the cap of crit chance, and I'm I'm high as hell, like 140% on crit damage. And this is not stacking into crit damage at all. This is not stacking into, this is just my shotgun. This is my shotgun. So there's not a lot of crit damage you can put on here. But if I was using my house, it'd be way higher as a primary. So let's check and see what the house look like. And then I don't even have, the thing is, I don't even have deadly activated because of the simple fact of the requirements, but you don't need deadly activated. So let's check the house. Or was that the house? Let's see. So yeah, I think that was the house. Let's see what the shotgun was like. Oh my God. Shotgun here. Is this one of my subscribers in the background clapping? Or somebody that I know? All right, so 3% crit chance and 79% crit damage. But when I post, I'm almost at 60% crit chance on the shotgun. And this is what I mean by support builds. All right, this is what I mean by support builds. So you will want competent and talented. Now, what else you will want for this build? You got to be running some type of heal. In group play, I run a vigorous chest piece. I take away the inventive, put on another tactician backpack, put on vigorous, and I run a defib. The defib, you want your team to stay alive. The ally heal on this thing is ridiculous with no stacks. It's ridiculous with no stacks. So you will want this for team play, and this becomes, you know, the chicken dancing, and this is what people use right here. And the talents that you also want to run, that I run, is triage, I run battle buddy, I run combat medic, and I run death by proxy. Now, the mixture between talented and death by proxy is amazing. It shoots your skill power through the roof. I already have a build video for this. So in the comments, if you want to see this build video, I'll go fish the link for you and I'll drop it under your comment. All right, if you made it this far in the video. But it says death by proxy, destroy a hostile's deployed skill to increase skill power by 20% for 30 seconds. So you get an extra 20% on top of an extra 15% from talented. So you get an extra 35% skill power on top of having 462k skill power on 10k electronics. It's ridiculous. All right, it's ridiculous how much skill, how much heal, and how much pulse damage you can get from a pulse with popping death by proxy and talented at the same time. It's ridiculous. And on top of that, the 30 stacks that you get. So let's say you got 30 stacks, death by proxy, and talented, all procced at once. Just think about that. You shred anything. It doesn't matter what it is. You shred anything. And what even makes it worse is if they're not running a concealed pulse, you can run a damage pulse. And that's going to add even more crit damage to what you're doing to players. And then this is when it becomes unearthly. It's godlike. This is what make people hit as hard as they are, especially with 10k firearm builds. They're hitting 40 some crits automatically. Like I believe, like, I'm gonna probably do a video of people on my team running like 10k firearms Banshee, and I'm posting somebody with all the stacks I can get, the talents and everything, and I guarantee you these motherfuckers are probably hitting around 45, damn near probably 42 to 50% crit damage, crit hits on a player. And that's just, you know, that's out of the box. That's ridiculous. But that's what you will run around with support. Also, being a support player, you want to be able to strafe. Now, you don't have to chicken dance like crazy, but you want to play smart. You want to keep your team healed as much is possible, especially if you're running a VIG with defib. You want to keep them healed as much as possible. So let's say you pop a heal in the air, you want to call out the heal. Hey, I got a heal on me in the air, so they can know not to look on the floor for a heal, because there be so many boxes down. It's sometimes in the heat of the moment, it's hard to tell where the actual heal is, but you can see the heal in the air because you see the little, the green particles flying around. You see that. Or you'll tell them, hey, I got, it's going to always be a heal right here in front of the box. It's going to always be a heal right here. So if y'all just sitting there and y'all beaming people and y'all not moving, I'm going to put the heal right here. Heal down, heal down. And your teammates know heal is here every single time. It's here, it's here, it's here. And this is how you keep your team together. This is how your communication becomes better. This is how y'all beam people and stuff like that. So with the support builds, that's what you want to do. Now let's say if you got a final measure heal, now you got to be cautious with the final measure healer. Now your job is to heal, but also your job is to grab nades. So you don't want to be fluked out by like how we fake people out. We'll throw like 3 grenades at one time, especially if they got like one final measure healer. That final measure healer can't grab all 3 nades. He can only grab 1. The first grenade coming out for a smart group of people or player is a dummy grenade. And what I mean by a dummy grenade is a skill power grenade or a stand buff grenade. You never want to give a final measure healer or a final measure build, period, 6-piece, a firearms buff, because this is what comes in. Two of the 10k firearm DPS with the tech pulse that I just showed you guys and a final measure healer, and you throw a frag grenade or a flame grenade and you give them a firearms buff on top of that pulse. Just imagine that. You're giving them a what is it, a 40% buff or something like that on top of that pulse. You're going to get destroyed. Point blank, period. Okay? Your job as a final measure healer is to, okay, let's say somebody was at this doorway. They threw a grenade. Grab that bitch and go. Get out of there. Don't be and then trying to face tank it. This is how you die. And then once you die, if these players are not actually that good enough to stand on their own, and these people are running cheese and disrupts and preds and all that stuff, and they don't have that healer that they need, your team is going to get destroyed, especially fighting against rogue police. So final measure healers, the same difference. You want to grab that bitch and get the fuck out of Dodge. Pop your heals, boom. You're done. And that's what you want to do as a support player. Now, let's say you're a support firearms player. This is where Deadeye kicks in, all right? And I'm going to show y'all my Deadeye build. So this is where Deadeye kicks in. Let me get out here. And I advise you guys to not run Deadeye in the DZ fighting against the server unless you know you're in a spot where you can be in the hallway and all the way back and you can get a clear shot and you can funnel people. That's the only time. But like fighting out in the open with this, no sir, you don't want this. But let's just say you're a Deadeye, you're a firearm support player, right? So your job is to be out of sight, out of mind. Let's just show you the build so you guys can understand why I'm running this the way I do. So one of the hardest hitting builds on this game is the 5-piece Deadeye classified with the reckless chest piece. Everything rolled to firearms. Now, what you will want to have instead of firearm mods for skill haste, you will want firearm mods for skill power. And then y'all ask me, why firearm mods for skill power? Because of the pulse. The more skill power you have, the stronger the pulse. So my pulse is at 17.60. If I had way more skill power, it'd probably be in the 20s, almost 30 for crit damage. And you already want to put out, it already puts out a lot of crit damage as is. So let's look into the character loadout. So it's at 175% crit damage. Now just add a decent post of your own to this build, and you'll be around maybe 30. You'll be over 200 and 200 and something percent for crit damage alone without a tactician pulse. Now imagine a tactician pulse with this Deadeye. You one tapping everything. I'm sorry. You one tapping. The only thing you probably won't be able to one tap is like a real tanky build or like a D3, but you're one tapping everything. So with this build, with your DPS support, as in like, let's say Deadeye, you will run competent, deadly, and prepared. And then you will want to stack into as much crit damage as possible. Because for the guys that don't know, what Deadeye is, it says the 4th talent, when zoomed, marksman rifles lose headshot bonus, but gain 50% critical hit strike when out of cover and 100% critical strike chance when in cover. So, okay, you don't need to stack it to a whole bunch of crit chance on here because you have a 50% chance of already, critting. You get a 50% strike chance. And so that means if you're out in the open, not behind cover, and you just shooting somebody like this, you have a 50% strike chance of hitting critical hit damage. When you're in cover, you have a 100% every single time, 100%. Every single time you hit somebody, it will be a critical damage hit. Every single time, as long as you're in cover. All right. So what this is, let's say, okay, we somewhere in the DZ in the tunnels. And I'm sorry that this got to be lengthy like this, but I have to say this because some people they don't know how to play the game right. They need help. They don't know how to run their builds right. Someone is telling them to make their builds wrong, and it's not supposed to be like that. I'm trying to give you guys the smart ways to play with your play style and what you should be doing, as depending on what you're doing. The last thing we're getting to is the tanky stuff, and then I am finished. All right. So your firearm support, let's say we somewhere in a DZ and we underground and it's a long passageway, right? And let's say we going super cheesy. Let's say we posted somewhere. We super posted. And y'all got a reclaimer. Y'all got a tactician post. You got your sniper support. And you got another firearms person that's running like 10K firearms that's beaming. All right, Banshee or something. It's going to be so hard for people to rush you guys. It's going to be ridiculous. So you're going to always have consistent healing from that reclaimer. Now, if you have a godly reclaimer build like I do, if any one of you guys want to see that and you made it this far in the video, leave a comment down below for the reclaimer. I'll link you to it. My reclaimer automatically sits at like 33%, 33K healing rate without procking anything. And when I proc, I think it go like to 42 to 45 or 47 or something like that. It goes high. Like, it goes high as hell, like real high. So it's like almost impossible to kill us unless you like EMPing or something like that, or disrupting or something like that. So a smart team, if you're running this Deadeye firearm support, because some people love sniping, you would want to be the furthest person back as possible, because the simple fact on you have on prepared. Prepared says damage is increased by 15% when more than 30 meters away from the target. So you want to be 30 meters away from the target. So if you see people coming down here, you want to be down here. And this gives you that damage boost. All right. And then on top of that, you have a booster shot. And the booster shot gives you an additional 15% damage. So that's automatically from your build itself, just from being that far back in the talent and popping booster is automatically 30%. This is not brought in. There's no other numbers from your post. This is not including your post, a tactician post, anything. So just imagine this type of build in a place that this can be for skirmish, last stand, it don't matter. Any PvP environment. If you're running this and somebody's running a tech post build, you are godly. You are hitting godly. Everybody that you hit is probably going to be way over 300K. Maybe 325, 350, 360, depending on what kind of post they're running. You're going to be hitting people for ridiculous numbers. So if you got your reclaimer here, that box is big as hell. You got your tech post, he's chicken dancing and doing everything he is, popping heels. And you got your beamer with your banshee or your predchi or whatever he's running and beaming. For people that's running down or trying to run down, or y'all got somebody choked up at a bottleneck somewhere over here and they can't push all the way down without popping the blue, you're back here giving people the business. You all the way back here on the wall, giving people the business automatically, and you just killing people. That's what you do as a support player. Or if y'all doing some other type of thing and you have on like elevated or something like that, you will want to be up on something, hitting. But your main job as a sniper support is to be out of sight, out of mind. That's your job. Out of sight, out of mind. You don't need to be up here with the other DPS dude trying to get your strafe on. You don't need, no. Your job is to sit back here, pull out that sniper, and go to work. That's your job as a support DPS sniper player. All right, you really don't need to see the talents that I'm running or nothing like that, but that's what you want to have. All right, and then let's get into the tank build. So I'm gonna do a 9K pred, 10K. All right, you don't want to run pred 10K stam. All right, because you lose too much. You lose your talents. This is a tanky build. Now it's not a sustained tanky build. But what I will say is the two builds that you want to have for tankiness that I cannot show you guys is Nomad and D3. I don't keep those builds on me. They're in my stash. But I don't run Nomad and I don't run D3. And there's different ways you can run Nomad and D3, all right? You can run the Wakanda build like Cray, or you can run the Jasamian build, the troll build that he runs with 10K stam. And you can just spec everything into health. Makes you super tanky. Now, some people like running being tanks. That's just what it is. 9 times out of 10, when someone is a tank, they're running a D3 build. And with these D3 builds, as I also have as well, with these D3 builds, you want to spec into 9K stam, the rest into firearms, so you can have like vicious deadly unlock, unforgiving unlock, stuff like that, so you'll be able to run on your house or whatever the gun may be. And you want to stack, you want to roll one piece like I believe it's one piece, either a backpack or a knee pads into skill power. Your cap on what you want to have on that shield is 120% skill power. Some people wonder why their shields get shredded. They're not running the proper skill power at all. So you want to have a shield with like, I think the highest I think you can get like over 1 million health or something like that. Something crazy like that. But you also want to run, like as a talent, you want to run a box booster. You also want to run combat medic. As I found out with combat medic, when you pop a heal, a med kit, it actually heals your shield. You also want to play at max sensitivity, because what happens is people pull out these shields. Let me see if I can pull out the shield. So what people would do is they will put on a shield, right? And this is what I see all the time in the DZ, and Jasamian even touched on this, and I'm 100% with him. This is what people do. What is this? What is this? What is this? You want to play almost on max sensitivity. So I think I'm at like 90% aim or whatever. You want to be able to turn fast. You could turn faster than that. But let me see. Let me go into my options. All right. You're at 100%. 9 times out of 10, people try to get behind you. You want to be able to turn. You want to be able to turn. But the most thing you want to do is, if you're aiming in, it slows your turn down by a lot. But if you're not, look at this. You could turn quick. No, get up off me. Get up off me. Get up off me. Get up off me. You could turn quick. Now, what a smart D3 player does, they don't try to face tank. Okay? They don't try to face tank the shield, because the shield can be shredded. A lot of people run striker or high firearms, and it can be shredded by a sticky bomb. The shield's kryptonite is a sticky bomb. But what happens is, you try to face tank that, your shield will be out of there. What a smart player would do is run. Let the shield healed up. And then you come back out with the shield. Okay, boom. Now we back out here. My health is back. And this is the support tanky player. This is the support tanky player. So if you are a D3 user, if you are a tanky, tanky D3 user, a tanky nomad user, you want to be the first one up and up. You the one that can sponge bullets. All right. You want to be the one that take the massive amount of bullets and let your team work out, especially if you're running the shield. You want to be the first man in. All right. You want to be the first man in that doorway. So let's say you got a whole bunch of people in here. Hey, you need to get your ass up in here, man, and work out. Peep the scenery. If they spamming and bombing shit and all that stuff, and they look like they got stickies, man, you better run. Get up out of there. And then you come back. You don't just sit here and try to face tank, and then he throw that shield down, that fucking paper plate ass shield, and then you like this trying to run because you ain't got no DPS, and you getting shot all in your damn back, and next thing you know, you on the ground. And now your team is dead too, because of the simple fact that you don't know how to run your support tank build right. So if you want to go super tanky, you can go 10k firearms, but you're sacrificing. You're sacrificing. If you go 10k, no, not 10k firearms. If you go 10k stam, you're sacrificing. You don't have no talents unlocked. All right. Your best bet is just to rely on card counter. That's it. So what happens is, let's say you wanted to do a 10k stam D3 build. You get your 120% skill power. Roll everything else into health. Everything. You run stam mod with health on it. The holster with health. Knee pads with health, or the backpack with health. However you want to do it. You run that with health, or you want to run on with skill power. And you just make sure that you got that 120% skill power. And then you spec everything else into stamina to health. That would make you super, super tanky. All right, you are a tank. You are support. So you're the first person in, like I said. You want to play smart. You want to shoot people and run around. Now, if they ain't doing damage to your shield by any means, go to work. Go to work on them boys. You just face tank everything and just shoot, shoot, shoot. Your thing is to give support. And what happens is, a smart team, let's say if we in this doorway right here, and there's people in front, right here, you shooting at them, your team is behind you, your team is behind the shield. They're behind you, and they're peeking out, shooting right, and somebody's shooting left. And they just behind y'all, bobbing and weaving, shooting, 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 because you are the tank. You are the one that's taking all the bullets. You are the sponge. That is your job. Your job ain't to do this. This ain't your job. Your job is to support your team. All right? Your job is to shoot with your SMG. Call out. He's blackbarred on the left. He's blackbarred on the right. He's blackbarred on this. That's what you want to do. With Nomad, which I don't have that build, but with Nomad, if you want to run a tank, 9k stam, 10k stam, this is what happens. So, let me throw my shield down. This is what happens. The best Nomad to have, in my opinion, is if you're going to be running a tank, if you want to run a super tank, 10k stam, everything rolled to health, and health on kill on as much as possible that you can put on. Health on kill on as much as possible that you can put on. So when you kill somebody that say, hey, you the tank, but your teammate got somebody down and you losing health, and you hit them and you got that predatory, make sure you got predatory on now. Make sure you got predatory with you. What you do is you hit somebody on the ground with the max health on kill you can get, because y'all know that is a survivalist build. The max health on kill you can make on that build with predatory, boom, that shit's gonna jump your health from like nothing to almost full health just by killing one person on the ground. And your job is to, especially with Nomad and you're running in a team, a tank Nomad, your job is to damn near face tank people. Now, you don't do it to the point where you finna lose a proc or you finna get proc, but your job is to be the tank. Also, your main job, like Jasamian do, is to get the fuck out of Dodge when you have a manhunt and to keep that manhunt alive. Run. I don't care how many people call you pussy. If your teammates die and it's only you with this Nomad, go. Run, Forrest, run. That's what you do. And you link back up with your team so y'all can get busy again. That is your main objective. Now, if you're running the 9k stand with 4k, yeah, your job is to tank as well. But your job is to also put DPS on people, because you get to run Vicious Deadly, you get to run Unforgiven Deadly, you get to run a couple other talents on the gun, so you can do some type of damage. Now, it's not going to be damage like 9k Striker and 9k Pred and nothing like that, but you still have the tankiness and the damage to go with it. But it also depends on what you want to do. Your perfected build will be 9k or 10k stam if you're running a tank with the max amount of health on kill on it, running predatory on something. Now, if you run the Nomad build that I did that you guys want to see, I ran 7,500 firearms. I ran a firearm Nomad. And actually in the gameplay that I had with the firearms Nomad is I never got procced. I was burning people so bad, so bad, I never got procced. I would face tank people. Don't forget, with Nomad, you have an overheal. They have to burn through the overheal before they can get to your health. All right? If they cannot get to the overheal, through the overheal, you have an advantage. Because don't forget, you also have consistent healing. So let's say if you get shot up and they got you halfway on the overheal and you start chicken dancing, guess what? There's going to be little bullets hitting you, but you're going to be gaining health back. And next thing you know, when you get back face tanking again, you'll be damn near almost at full overheal again. That's how crazy and cheesy Nomad is. That's how crazy it is. So for the solo people, I understand why you guys run Nomad. I can understand the solo people, but when in group play, But if you run it in group play, that's what you want to do. You need to be the tank. You need to be the man that's keeping the manhunt alive. You need to be the one that's going to link up with your teammates so y'all can get it back popping again. Because over here, we don't cleanse manhunts. I went from a rank 99 to I'm like a 74 now, because all we do is flag up and go rogue. I will say this, that don't have nothing to do with the video. Hey man, if you're a rank 99 in the DZ, you either one a farmer or two rogue police. That's just what it is. That means you ain't flagging up. That's all I gotta say. You're not flagging up. But that's what you will want, guys. That's what you will want. So any one of my builds, like y'all see I'm gonna show y'all my 9k stam that I do for PvP with my where's my one with crit chance on it? All right, so it's not really this, but what it is, it looks like this. Mine's really have I'm missing a stand mod with crit chance on it. So as I told you guys before with this pred, this is a pred tank because it's 9K stand, but it don't have no sustainability. But you have your stuff unlocked. You got your vicious deadly, you got your unforgiving deadly, you got your 9K firearms, over 600K toughness, almost 500K on the DPS, you know, and you putting them 10 shots on people. This is my godly pred build. And what I mean by that is I gave a breakdown on how to run a godly pred build, how to get the maximum amount of bleed on a player in PvP with this type of build. And that's crit chance and crit damage. That's all you got to worry about. How much crit chance you have and how much crit damage. You want to have at least 135, 136, 137 on the crit damage, standing crit damage, and then you want to have 60% crit chance. With that bleed, you have a 60% chance of getting a critical hit bleed every single time. That's how that works. If you guys want to see that video and you made it this far in the video, I will link you to that. Just let me know. Just say, Eazyy, I need to see the Nomad. Eazyy, I need to see the Alpha. Eazyy, I need to see the Banshee. Eazyy, I need to see Reclaimer. Eazyy, I need to see the Tech. And I'll go get the link for you lazy asses. And then I will send it. I will put it under the comment. But like I always say, guys, don't listen to what a lot of these players are like mediocre players, and they do not know what they're doing. The same thing for like LMG builds. Let's say if you into Lone Star or something like that, you want to go into as much crit chance and crit damage as possible. That's what you want to do. So you want to run something, you know, they don't come with crit chance on them. I think they come with like damage out of cover or something like that. But you want to run crit chance talents, a crit chance post. That's what you want to do. All right. Now, if you're running with attack post, you don't need none of that, because attack post is going to do that for you. But if the attack post gets concealed and y'all fighting against each other's concealed, then that's when you want to be able to stand alone and make sure your build is on point. If you guys have any questions, I know this is a lengthy video. If you guys have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact me. If y'all got my Xbox, it's Eazyy TV, EAZYY space TV. Add me on Xbox. Also, if you guys want to leave me, I think you guys can leave me a private message on YouTube. I'm not sure about that, but if you don't, leave a comment, ask me anything. I'll try the best of my ability to answer exactly what you need. What you need about builds, how the builds need to be ran, the talents and all that stuff. But don't believe people when they say, oh man, all you got to do is have 80% crit damage and 60% crit chance and you're going to be a god. Nuh-uh. Don't listen to those type of people. You know bullshit when you hear bullshit. A lot of you Game Pass people don't really know, because y'all just go by, oh man, it looked like he got a good build. But when you get somebody like me that critiques builds and break down the game as for what it is and what's the best stuff to run in certain situation in your game style, it becomes a difference. And then you start looking at those people like, this dude don't know what the fuck he talking about. He don't know what he talking about at all. So if you guys enjoyed the video, it's a little lengthy. I'm sorry, I had to do it. If you guys enjoyed the video, please spam that like button, leave a thumbs up. If you are new to the channel, hit that sub button and the notification button. If you are on the channel and you haven't and you're sub but don't have that notification, make sure y'all hit that notification. I will be dropping a couple more videos soon. But I hope you guys do enjoy this. This is like an hour-long course. Y'all ain't gonna sit here for an hour. I'm not finna chop this up. I want y'all to hear everything that I said. But I appreciate you guys coming by, and I'm out.